Hey, what's up, guys? What the hell is that? Surrealism. Now, always, right? Modernism. At this point, modernism is more than 100 years old. As the late great Jonathan Bowden said, modernism is sort of a cul-de-sac, right? It doesn't look very modern now. It looks very limited. Okay? The irony was that the art, if anything, became more realistic, more grandiose, right? And not surreal or limited or ugly or angular, whatever you want to think, cubist, the vorticist, any of these things, right? Um, but I always, just like Bowden, there's a lot of modernism that I like, especially the stuff between the wars, the stuff coming especially out of that first mechanized slaughter. Okay? They killed 7 of my male ancestors. Um, Essentially, a lot of your early modern horror, right, German expressionism being just one of many, comes out of that. And the horrific, the demonic, the atmospheric, and much of this early modernist stuff, in which case I'm going over surrealism. There is value in it. A lot of your horror imagery comes from that, regardless of whatever your ideological bent is, or if you're post ideology like I am. There's definitely a lot you can see in this, and this is a nice sampler book. These are always the great ones, you know. Giorgio de Chirocco. I always liked his stuff. Always the weird, dreamlike stuff. And this is before the war, right? Always the war. Always the wars, right? Look at this, like spider webs. It's all you can say is weird, right? And surrealism, obviously surrealism, Dadaism, more on the left end of things. I'll show you some other artistic movements that were not, and I think you know what I'm talking about. But even like this, right? The Enigma of a Day. I remember seeing this as a kid. Like, look at this in terms of like a landscape of horror, right? Bleak, otherworldly, atmospheric. Okay, when you look at this, what impression, as they used to say, what impression is made on you? Not one of sunniness, right? One of almost mystery, right? Something beyond the veil, like another dimension of where things are not as they should be in your modern world, right? The surrealist imagery. Salvador Dali, another thing. Max Ernst. The world's changing customs, angst, dreams of Europe's past into the nightmares of an early 20th century in flux. Yeah, very well put, actually. I'm going to stop paying on metaphysical. Oh, but look at this. You can see this is like dreams, right? Lovecraft wrote many of his stories from dreams. The dream world. Now I know he gets it. Marcel Duchamp gets a bad rap, but like something like this is I like this. I like this. And you have the early surrealist film. Yeah, the Spanish here, Jean Miro. Look at this. Like it's almost like a harmonious Bach painting, but with like nonsensical things, like little demons, little creatures, little weird things. Right, and of course, they messing with the photography. That's a whole other video I'll do. Right, Man Ray, very interesting. Or like look at this, like just mysterious or weird, like another beyond dimension of just shadows, ghosts. Right? Oh, this one, that's a woman. Yeah, she's very much in vogue now because of the paradigms of today. What was at work here? I don't, only one can say, oh, this guy, Artois, right? What is it? The theater of cruelty. Now, of course, a lot of modernism rubs people the wrong way, as it should. Some of it is ridiculous. Oh, Cocteau. How do you pronounce it? The Cocteau twins. I know more. I'm familiar with them more than the dude, but I'm gonna go over this at some point. Architecture, Le Corbusier. Oh, it's funny too. They don't. This guy made some crazy looking architecture. That I actually like. It's not that Bauhaus stuff, which is like literally living in a fucking shoebox, right? Another vid would be dedicated to Dali. Okay, one of our guys. Yeah. Oh, Picasso. Not a fan of Picasso, but this is good. This is like the collage, right? I always like the medium, right? Fabric, wood, plant, string, pin, butterfly. Are you sure? That's one of the ingredients. Oil on canvas. Right? They got the old cartoons here. The Surrealism in America. All right, the car. What is it? What is this? Betty Boop. Boop boop beep doop. Betty Boop. Right. Essentially, Harley Quinn. The character's voice was Betty Boop's voice. Right. Uh, this guy. I've been to the Museum of Modern Art in Manhattan. Actually, I was there in January of 2020 when things were dawning, or the invisible was dawning on us. Supposedly, I was a big fan of this guy. This guy has some really cool sculptures, the stick figures, the weird things. I'll go over him at some point too. I like a lot of this stuff, right? Expectation. Oh, one of those German words. All right, what's on the horizon? Well, we know what's on the horizon, right? In the 30s. Anyway, Dora Maar, the simulator, right? This is. You had I know you had some really talented women in this movement, right? Look at this. This is a photo manipulation, right? Gelatin. Right? Look at that. Bizarre. It's amazing how they did this stuff, right? Let me go over that later. Now you go, okay, what does this have? Look, what is that? What does this have to do with horror? A lot of this stuff with very different intentions points the way to your modern horror. Okay, as much as Lovecraft would have hated this stuff, and he severely hated modernism in all its forms. He didn't like T.S. Eliot. Right? I like T.S. Eliot, but I like love H.P. Lovecraft. But I would argue that there was something at work here that even the artists didn't realize. Right? Not a Frida Kahlo fan. Sorry. Yeah, so I don't want to go belabor the point of it. Roberto Mata. Look at this. It looks like the Incantation on Mortal Golgotha. Remember that cover? It looks like the artist was aping that style. Look at this one, man. Yeah, the Sleeping Venus. It's like, oh, it's all Freudian. Oh, please. No one ever described the strangeness of dreams before Freud, right? Come on, man. But in terms of, like I said, surrealism, there's a place for it. Another female artist, Tomorrow is Never. Yeah, you telling me it's never. All right. Depression, alcoholism, and a complicated marriage. Oh, she was married to that Tangai guy. Well, look at her art though. Look at that. Look how cool that is. Right? You can argue, oh, it's like Clive Barker. You know, that's what I always give Clive Barker. At least the films credit. I don't know anything about his plays, but his books to a degree. The surrealism of that 80s horror, when modern horror was starting to enter into visual media, you really sense that. And getting to the end of this, but whatever. It's just surrealism. It's a much abused term, but the term surrealist, I always have a place for that. The surrealist horror, the darkness of it. Okay, we get into the 80s. Oh, the me decade, right? The what was it? The me. Like they weren't selfish as hell in the other ones. And look at this architecture again. It's like, oh, it's monstrous. Well, you know what? Glass boxes, like what I see every time I go back to fucking New York, like these unimaginative, sterile, lifeless metal boxes. This at least has a flair to it. Okay. If you're gonna exist, at least look like something like this, like a typhoon or a many-eyed monster, rather than just a fucking, like I said, a shoebox living in a damn shoebox, little holes in it. And the biographies in the back are interesting. You see all these people. Right. This guy lived a long time, man. Always a big fan of this guy. This guy actually, in some way, in a lot of ways, was the pioneer of this. He was doing this, um, you know, the haunting images with the ambiguous meanings, right? Inspire surrealism. So this dude always give this guy credit, man, for inspire. He was an innovator for sure, and his stuff, very haunting, very interesting. Always made a huge impression. So anyway, that's surrealism. There's my man right there. Yeah. Let's see. Of course, the one of the most horrific scenes in a film is this thing he did with Louis Buñuel. Right? You know what I'm talking about. I remember seeing that. That is still one of the most horrific scenes in a film ever. Right, is in this surrealist film that he did. Okay, of course, it's amazing how this dude was able to overcome the fact that he supported the other side in the Spanish Civil War. Mm. Yeah, Dali. Anyway, I don't want to belabor this. There's so many cool people here. And I know it sounds crazy, but like this guy, I like this. This dude has some good stuff, man. They always make the thing of him with the toilet as a piece of art. I think he was trying to make a point there more than the actual art itself about, the bullshit of the fucking art world. Some of his art that he did, with the nude descending the staircase, was actually really, really cool. But you know how it is. These guys were like the early rock stars. There's this guy, Alberto Giacometti. This guy made some good stuff. Hey, anyway, Dora Maar don't even get a picture. Look at that. That Cabossier. There you go. Yeah, this of all those architects, this guy was the best. So, that's it. Yeah, not the typical right wing dude, am I? Later.